Hey everybody, it's Jeff Higgins here, and today is another episode of Real Talk, and I am super excited today. We've got an awesome guest, someone with a ton of energy that's crushing it. And actually, when we went to go set up this time here today, she's squeezing a showing for a lakefront listing that she's got in this market. She's able to start showing homes to buyers before she's even got the thing listed. So she's an absolute dynamo, building a great business. And without any further ado, I'm going to let you introduce our awesome guest today, Lindsey Broadwell. Lindsey, go ahead and take it away and tell us who you are.
Yeah. So Lindsey Broadwell, I've been in real estate for 8 years now. Been with Real for a full year and absolutely love it. I also have my husband who got his license during the COVID time, and he helps me out greatly with showings and all that stuff. But I just love what I do and now do it full time. So
That is awesome. That is awesome. Give me just a minute here. We've got, okay, well, we're going to keep going here. We got a little issue here with Facebook, but we're going to keep rolling right through it here. So when you started in real estate, what firm did you, or what type of firm did you go with? Did you enter?
So I was with a little boutique brokerage. They're no longer around, but they were very nice and helped me out and got my first year, my feet wet and all that. And then I joined Remax, and I was with them for the past 6 years. So, and then I joined Real. So it's
interesting. So you were at Remax, and you kind of heard of this thing called Real. And I guess to back up, you're at Remax. What kind of business do you have at Remax? I mean, how was business?
Yeah, Remax. I mean, it was awesome. I joined Remax from, let's see, when I started there, my business started to take off. Obviously, after your first year in real estate, if you stick with it, you're gonna do well. You should at least if you're surrounded by the right people to get that stuff going. So
that's key.
So from there, I went to 3 different offices with Remax, different locations. And I would say my 5th year into the real estate, 4th year in the real estate business, it just really took off. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And then I learned more. It's actually my husband who got to learn about Real and made me make the switch, which it's been amazing. Like I love my balloon. I still love my people at Remax. I do, but it's just a whole different world over here. And
well, I'll tell you that it's all about the people, right? So regardless of where we're at, it's, and I always say, we take ourselves everywhere we go. So it really doesn't matter where we're at, because it's really where we're at is really the vehicle, but it's really all about the people and the culture. But to back up, so you said year 4, things just kind of sound like they exploded for you.
Yeah.
What were you doing there that has exploded? What type of lead generation, or kind of what happened in your world to make your business explode?
I honestly have no idea. I think just getting the word out there for me and more people hearing that I was in real estate, because your first year in real estate, you don't really want to tell people, even though you should. Yeah, you definitely should. Like, that's the one mistake and wish I could do over, is start telling people earlier. But once I started getting that out there, it was just more people that learned that I was in it, where my referral business was huge. I started spending on some lead generations, but not that much. But I would get, and now actually those lead generations, I had made good friends off of them too. So it just kind of took off. I'm a big relationship builder person, and people feel like they know me for a long time, even though when they first met me. So I feel like that's how it kind of took off, is once people get to know me, they stick with me.
Well, I think you nailed it. It's right. It's like, I think so many of us are looking for that kind of that perfect be all end all, like, okay, I hit this, I tried this easy button, and all of a sudden in year 4, my business took off. But I think you nailed it. You uncovered it, which is just, you basically just had built these relationships. Yep. And then when they were ready, whatever it happened to be, buyer, seller, or both, Lindsey was there for them. And that happened in year 4, it sounds like, in your world. And then there's, the rest is history. So you're working with someone, it's always saying, people a year age say, well, I grow my business through referral. Well, that's great, but ultimately you need to have something of a value, and you have to have a reason why your friends, family, colleagues, past clients would refer you. What do your clients see in Lindsey that say, hey, this was a great experience that gets me to refer you? What is that?
Communication is big, big on
Hmm.
communication. And then I don't think they use me just because of this, but people appreciate it. I'm a big gift giver. I know in real estate,
Interesting.
you're not supposed to like give gifts, right? But throughout my whole life, my mom has always been an amazing gift giver. So I got that from her and I just like doing it. They're like, everybody asks me, like, why do you spend so much on gifts for people? I'm like, it's fun. Like when I receive a meaningful gift, like say I was pregnant, but I'm not, and someone like sent me a onesie or something, it's just a meaningful gift. So I do that to a lot
Yeah.
of my clients. Like I'll send them a onesie with our real estate logo on it, or like for their birthday, I send them a scratch off, stuff like that. So in Christmas, I hand write all my cards to over like 500 people.
That's great.
Do that.
I mean, that's great. So there's a couple, two things there that jump out at me. One is the communication. And I think I forget the statistic. There's all sorts of stats, so in studies from NAR that basically say, it's like 76% of real estate agents, don't quote me on this, something like that, like lose track of their clients and then never
Yeah.
to be seen from again, and all these different things. And it's like, I think one of the things that makes, everything easier is communication. So so obviously, other than the gift giving, we're gonna get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
How do you communicate with clients? What is your system?
Yeah. So I'm getting a better system since joining Real has taught me a lot. But basically I would just reach out. Like when I'm thinking of somebody and someone pops into my brain because it's like something we were doing on a showing and something in another house is happening on a different showing, I'll shoot them a quick text and be like, oh my gosh, look at this. Remember when? And stuff like that. And send them like, I take photos of them when they don't know when they're signing papers and send them after 1 year, happy anniversary, house anniversary, and send that photo to them.
That's a great touch.
So like just little things like that. And it's easy. It's just when you're thinking about them, just send a message, make a phone
Well,
call.
yeah, I think that's it. I think it's being. There is someone that I follow on social media named Jess Leneville, and I think what she has said is talked a little bit about ROI, which is not kind of what ROI that we know, but it's communicating with someone, but it's being relevant, omnipresent, and intimate. And intimate meaning not like that kind of intimate, but intimate
Right.
like you're there at the right times. What you are, you're omnipresent, you're there everywhere, and you're relevant. You're not just you're. I think you're super relevant because you're actually giving gifts that make the most sense, or you're communicating appropriately. You're saying something and having that touch with that photo of them signing the papers a year later you're really kind of tapping an emotion and ultimately just, proving that you are, the great resource that you are.
Trying to be. Always
Absolutely.
learning. So
So, and on the gift giving, is that something you do for like, on the anniversary date of a home, or is it for like clients as you onboard clients, or tell us about your gift giving program?
yeah, I guess it's kind of just like like when it becomes top of mind for me, I do it. So like when I see someone baby announcement on Facebook, I'll send them a little gift. Or if someone's mother passed away, I'll send a little flower arrangement to them. Just stuff like that. But I've done that before I was in real estate too. So I feel like me just being who I am and just staying true to that has helped me also,
Yeah.
because like I said, my mom distilled it in me and just continue it in my business. And now I just have a lot more friends that I get to send stuff to.
Well, I think that's it too. Is that, again, a lot of us look for, that magic button, or we're going to try this, we're going to try this system. In the end, is that, what you're saying in essence is really just be yourself. I mean,
Correct.
is that a fair statement?
Very fair. Yes.
Yeah.
Do not change who you are for somebody.
Yeah,
For real estate.
that's right.
Yeah.
So you're now kind of, jumping over. Now you're basically at Remax, loving the balloon, as you said. Things are going well. You've got great colleagues, great clients. Things are going well. The market's good. Business is good for Lindsey.
Yes.
And now Mike says to you, hey, there's this thing called Real.
Yeah.
Tell us about how Mike found it and kind of your first impression of it.
Yeah. I was scared, very scared. Did not want to leave the balloon. But our friend Bill Hader actually introduced it to us and took Mike to spring break, which I got to experience this year. And it was just like a whole game changer. He's like, you need to go to this event and we need to join Real now. Like there's no if and buts about
Interesting.
it. And I'm like, and he's like more the big picture mindset of things. And I'm like, I just like to be the worker bee. I like to talk to people, get my stuff done. So I trust him when it comes to like business stuff and big things like that. And I'm like, okay, I trust you. Let's do it. And once I was onboarding with David Mueller and all of them, I learned that Andy Dirks was in our, like with Real, had just joined a while ago, but I'm like, no way. So I like called him right after that phone call. I'm like, dude, you're with Real? And he's like, yeah, I'm actually going to look at an office right now. I'm like, no way, we're on our way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why we kind of teamed up with Andy too. So now we're making it like a real Michigan life out in our area. And it's just fun to be around, like excited young people and everybody who believes in each other. No one's better than one other person. It's just completely different than from where I was at.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's like you don't see it. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
I think we all make decisions to get to Real differently. But what did Mike see? So he's at this event. So it was like, it sounds like, the light bulb went off for him, and the skies opened up. What was it that he saw?
So I never was one to complain about a cap, which a lot of real estate people worry about, like cap what you put into the brokerage, right? So I always like just did my work, and once he explained it to me, and I still didn't understand it till like this year now, like maybe a month ago, I can wrap my head around it now. But he's like, you've paid X amount of money to this other company and don't really see anything back besides like what I have there, right? Like with the people. Whereas at this place, they pay you to work here. At Real, it's like you put your cap into it, and then if you hit a certain amount and all this stuff, you get that back and more. And I'm like, I don't understand how that works. I just, and like most real estate agents, I'm like, that just can't be sustainable. Like how?
Yeah.
So he was like, because we had been to more Remax events too. And I'm not down to Remax by any means. I freaking love
it. It's a great brand and a great model. It really is.
Yeah. So we've been to those events, and then he's like, went to the spring break event. He's like, it's mind blowing. It's a lot smaller than with other events that we had gone to. But the camaraderie and the amount of sharing to get to the place where you want to be compared to other places that say they're going to give it to you was just unbelievable to him. So that was like the biggest thing. He's like, we're doing it. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
That's great.
Yeah, it was obviously the best move. So
and I love hearing these stories, because it's like you said a lot of, I think things are just spot on that I went through, that many of us went through when you're changing brokers of any kind. And I think first off, it's like ultimately is that it's the business is on us to basically provide great service for our clients. In the end, that's how you grow a business. And it's like, and then it's really not that much more complicated than that. So you're taking yourself everywhere you go. So the question becomes, what's the best vehicle for your business? And many of us don't even really have to look at the vehicle we're in, because where we're at, regardless if it was the balloon or wherever else, or wherever, that it really it's just, it almost doesn't matter.
Correct.
But it's like, yeah. And then there's something may happen in our business where maybe we're looking for something else, we're looking for something different. Yeah. And we've got this incredible platform at Real, between it's the revenue share, the great splits, the stock program, and we've all different things. And it's funny, my experience has been, we can reel off all these things one at a time. No pun intended. We can reel off things one at a time, all these different things. Yeah. And someone can look at it and be like, and kind of almost like your reaction was like, well, this is great, but like, is it sustainable? And like, what am I missing here? But I think, what and now I'm talking to people about it, I really only will talk about Real if someone's asking me.
Correct. In the same
I do this because I'm always interested in learning how people got here. And that's why we're talking today. But it's like, unless someone's really asking me, I don't go and say, let me tell you about all these different things. Let me just, spew out the platform. Right. No one cares. But I think the thing that's interesting is that, like what you said, it's really all becomes about the people's, right? So it's like, once you saw the culture in action, once you saw all this happen, you saw this sharing, you go in
you guys doing those little round tables too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I showed someone yesterday, someone was asking about like, well, show me the culture, she said. And I said, well, here you go. And we opened up Real Academy, and I'm like, these are the courses here. She's like, well, that's a lot. I'm like, that's actually today. You know, we're just also just going through it with like what's going on in Real Academy, just scrolling, you know, up there. It's incredible. I think the number is like 150 live courses a week.
Yeah.
And it's whatever you want, and you can dial in. And I think that, and just the fact that people are going to we're pouring into one another, all just trying to better each other. And in the end, it's kind of like you wake up, oh yeah, by the way, I'm doing this, and here's all these other great things that I get rewarded for that are part of the business model, whatever happens to be the revenue share or whatever's in stock, whatever all those things are that are important to you, they're all there in the background. So it's like, I always say to people, just look at, yes, the splits do matter, but in the end, regardless of where you're at, a split's a split, and it's like a cost of doing business, right? Yep. Yes, some are higher, some are lower. Ours is super attractive at the 85/15, and the cap's only $12,000. Oh, that's great. But like in the end, none of that really matters if the culture's off. Correct. And that's where I think it's here. It's just that everyone, it's more and more that I, talk to, us, especially here in Michigan, we're here for the culture, make each other better. And then, by the way, here is the platform, because I think what I've seen is that unless someone really buys into the culture, it doesn't matter if they love everything else, it really won't be a fit for them.
Amen to that.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. Yeah. I mean, the culture is amazing, and just everybody in Michigan, like doing our Michigan meetups, is everybody wants to get better, help each other out. The referral base is phenomenal too here. It's crazy to me. I'm beyond happy about it, by the way.
Yeah. What if like when because obviously with Remax, I think you've got a lot of great agents here, right? And even other brokerages, right? Be it Keller Williams or, EXP, where there's a lot of great agents at all these places, right? Because they're all great models. Obviously they've sustained. But when you make the switch, what are the people asking you, like, okay, what don't you like about it? Or what are you missing? How do you answer that?
So because we were so new, a lot of people were like, why did you do this? What did you do? Like, you were doing so well. Why did you leave who you were with? And I just basically stated like, well, this is a better opportunity. It's funny. This guy at Remax, Quintavious, he was like one of the guys that I was texting with for a long time about this whole thing. And like, I don't think I can change. I don't know. And he's like, listen, it's what's best for you is what matters. And if there's a better option out there that makes it sense, go do it. Cause you're always welcome back. Right. Like and I'm like, all right, and then, so when people ask me, I'm just like, now looking at it, what we have in our bank account is crazy to me because I'm just like, yeah, I gave all that away for the past 7 years. Like,
yes,
all that never came back.
Can't look back. It's not going to come back, but yeah, you're right. It's like, that's gone.
Correct. That's all gone. And now it's like, it's employee owned company. So we're all in this to help each other win, which is what I'm a team player. Like, I played soccer my whole life and all that. So I'm all about helping everybody out, get better and kill it and become the people in Michigan. We want to be the people in Michigan, real broker, like, come to us because we care about you. We're going to, like, it's just, I don't know. Well, I could keep going.
I think it's cool, Lindsey, because you were texting your colleague about, hey, I'm evaluating this decision. Mike and I are thinking about making a move here. And I think it's the best answer. It's the answer that I would want. And it's the answer that I would give, which is it's whatever is best for you, which is ultimately the case. Because it's like, real is not a fit for everyone. It's all about a fit, right? Yes. You've got your business. We're going to grow our business. And then it's looking for the best vehicle to take you to the next destination, wherever you want to take your business. And that's really all it is. And I think it's great that you've got someone in your world that was at Remax that told you, like, whatever's best for you. And the door is always open, because that's really the best advice.
Yeah, he's amazing. He kills it still. He's just a really good dude.
So you mentioned the teamwork, and obviously you had a great soccer career in the past. And how does your soccer success relate to your success today as a real estate agent?
I feel like throughout my whole life, because I was really short, I am short. And I always was told I'm never going to play at another level in soccer. You're never going to be this good and all that. So I was always like that underdog. And me pushing through and going to college to play soccer. And I went there with no scholarship and then ended up with a full ride and being captain my senior year.
Wow.
like just the determination and my work ethic just got me there. It proved
Mhm.
myself. I didn't have to like be angry or complain to people about it. I just had to do it and people saw it. So I feel like that's real estate. Like a lot of people talk. A lot of people are like, well, I'm
Uh-huh.
doing this, doing that. I'm like, but are you really?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm actually going out and door knocking on people if I'm trying to find a house for a buyer. I'm actually doing all this stuff compared to like a lot of people just talk and say they're doing things. I'm a doer. So I feel like that my whole soccer slash sporting career had helped me with that, if that makes sense.
That's yeah. I mean that does, and I think that's where I think it's a great foundation. I think when what I hear there when you're sharing that, Lindsay, is that your foundation of just basically that underdog, and maybe it's that chip or whatever, that determination, right? That
Yeah.
just kind of keeps you going. I think in any business that's key, and especially in the real estate business, like we need that internal motivation and drive to keep going. Because I think you said it best. It's like, there's a lot of talk, right? A lot of talk in our industry. And it's like, okay, well, are you actually doing it? Are you doing the things, or do you just like the idea of doing the things and really
Mhm.
not doing it?
Right.
And and I think that's here is that, we have this team here where, we don't want to let each other down, right? We're obviously all individual businesses, but we get that here, that the stronger our businesses are, the better the whole is.
Right. Yep.
So, you've grown here, you joined Real at a great time, not just like stock, of course you did, but you had a great time in your career for you personally. If someone were looking at Real today and they were kind of where you were at, kind of, I call it like, mid-career, super experienced, what would you say to them today as they're looking at maybe different brokerages and evaluating different options for their business?
Give it a chance because a lot of people say things and they don't really know, and other brokers promise things and don't deliver. That's the
Mhm.
biggest thing that I've learned. Like I've heard of many things that can be offered to you, but be careful. I always say sit at the office that you may go to for at least a week if they'll let you and actually experience it. And don't just go there if they're promising you something. Ask questions. And then like for here, um, I mean, just give us a chance because I wouldn't have believed it until I joined it.
Yeah.
Like it took me so it's really I don't know. I'm not really good at like it's just amazing.
No, well, I love to give it a chance, because I think that's where, like, we could sit there and say all these different things about Real, but it's like, just, I like that. Give it a chance,
Because
whatever that is, give it a fair look.
Mhm.
Sit, I love that. Sit in the office wherever you're going. If you're evaluating
Yes.
coming to Real or somewhere else, just, take a look, really take a look, give it
Mhm.
a chance, and then you make a fair decision if it's either, right for you or wrong for you. And
Right.
either way is okay. I mean, that's why I've told
Okay.
a friend of mine that's looking at Real right now. I told her, I said, if this either it's a fit for you or it's not, and either way, that's okay.
It
It's like,
is.
because I want what's best for you. It's like beyond Real, it's like we're still going to be friends. So at the end of the day, it's just like, I want your business to succeed, and I think Real might be a fit, but I'm not
Right.
sure. But just in your words, like, yeah, give it a chance.
Just give it a chance and meet with and that's the thing, like we have our office, your office, like there's a lot of people you can meet with. Like I don't say just meet with us, meet with you guys, meet with
Yeah,
Ann Arbor
go
guys.
talk to Dave Mueller. Yeah, go talk to Kathy. Go talk to Brian Vance. Go talk to Sam. Get a whole different cross section of people here and just get their opinion on it, because it's everyone's gonna have a different perspective, different viewpoint. And that's just gonna help make help the person that's evaluating, help the agent make a better decision.
Right. And it's a breath of fresh air to be somewhere that everybody, especially in Michigan, are willing to share about how they're successful.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
There's not
a breath of fresh air.
um, the door is definitely open.
Mhm.
What do you think is to send out? You see, you make the switch. What do
Yep.
you think the biggest misconception people have about Real? That agents out there, like, what's the biggest misconception they have when they hear Real Broker?
We're a MLN. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Well, yeah, that was mine. That was what I would say. But so curious to hear you say that. So yeah, tell me more about that.
um they say that I'm just like, well, isn't every business kind of an MLN if you think about
Yeah.
it? But I'm just and then we get the other three-letter person that we're like them too. And I'm just like, well, it I don't even know. It's just it's not. I don't understand how people have mean things to say about Real, because we haven't been around that long. So when
That's right.
people say things, I'm just like, I ask, where did you hear this from? And usually they won't tell you.
Mhm.
And then it's just talk. It's all
Yeah.
talk. Like I like about what I love about Real is you actually have to produce to be here too, which is phenomenal
Yes.
because it
Yeah.
keeps out the people who are just all about the other.
Coaching, consulting, talking, pretending, whatever it happens to be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's interesting because it's like we hear these different things. Oh, it's it's a multi-level marketing. Okay, well, what does that mean? And to your point, like, aren't most businesses looking to bring people in to help their business?
Yep.
And the fact that, okay, now there's a reward system in place. What does that mean? And
Right.
well, it just is. Okay. It's like, and at that point, you almost just want, I always let people just self-discover and I don't argue with anyone really. 'Cause it's
No.
just like,
Yeah. I'm
there's,
not.
there's too many, wrong
Yeah.
perceptions, misconceptions, interpretations, opinions, and which always surprises me. It's like your point, we haven't been around long enough for anyone to have like, at least they shouldn't have any strong opinions about us. So it's like,
Right.
but they do sometimes. So it's just,
Hmm.
it's interesting.
Those people, you should come talk to us.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. Just come talk to us. I think
Yeah.
the other thing that's interesting is that I heard recently, someone basically, it's interesting. I heard someone basically say recently, well, it's really not for new agents. And I said, well, tell me more about that. And they said, well, the training and this, that. And I'm like, well, training, and there's tons of trainings every week. And, Real Academy. And then the culture is one of learning anyway. So I almost think this is the best spot. Yes, there's not an office to keep you, a traditional office, right? We all have our own individual offices in terms of how we run our business, but like, I don't know what that means for training. And long-winded way of kind of taking it back to say, I've got someone that's going to join recently, and they're going to be on my team, and they are just getting into real estate. Now, they just got their license, but super experience from a different world that I think will apply to real estate.
Yep.
They're actually in the design business. And
Nice.
the question for you, Lindsey, is, you've built an incredible business. What would be your advice to this person as she is embarking on her real estate career starting, well, probably next week?
Yeah.
What would you say? What should she do in the first year?
Talk to every
Mhm.
person that you know in your cell phone. Tell them that you're in the business and you're surrounded by a great team that's going to help you get through your first year. It's not just going to be you, obviously, because like a lot of people worry about, well, you just started. Do you really know what you're doing, right? But you always, like, what I tell people is say, hey, you have us. Like, show, like, you're not just you. You have a full team that does a ton of business behind you, and we're going to be there with you through every step in your years to come. So don't be afraid to talk to your
Yeah.
sphere of influence, because it's so important.
I think that's great. It's like, don't be the secret agent. Get that message out. So
Mhm.
I wish someone would have told me that. And it's not like you wish someone would have given that same advice year one as well.
Yes, for sure.
Well, this has been great. So if anyone is out there and they're seeing this video and they're thinking about anything, any questions in terms of just if they're making a switch or if they're not, or if they're just curious about Real, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually have you call Mike Broadwell for this stuff, because he really understands and can explain Real a lot better than I can. I'm just like I
And
told
he's
you.
great. Not that you're not, but Mike's great.
Yeah. So call Mike. His number is 248-219-5161. And then email is mike@realmilife.com. We just changed it.
Awesome. I love the brand that you guys are doing up there. That is outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
That is outstanding. Well, Lindsey, this has been great. I appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the next episode of Real Talk. And I'll see you around town, Lindsey. And good luck with your listing there.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Yep.